Hello there everyone and welcome to the Poppy Arrangement Layering Guide video. So first up I have stamped all of the images from the stamp set and I'm then going to take the first stencil. So on this stencil here we have the base layer for the flowers which are in this cluster over here, and I'm just going to use the pink pearl to add the base layer through the stencil onto these images. I am using a small blending tool, but you could use whichever blending tool that you find works best for you. I'm then going to shift the stencil up, so this is the first one again, and I'm going to pop it into place around all of the leaves around that layer that we've just stenciled. So this is the huge cluster that we have in the stamp set, and it's just going to line up with all of the outline image. And for this one I am going to use the Grassfields ink to add the ink through the base layer to all of these leaves here. So once I have done these ones, I'm just going to move that stencil over slightly, and we have this little singular leaf that just nestles in at the top of the flower cluster, and I will be using the Grassfield to add that one in as well. So I'm then going to move on to stencil 2. Now this has many of the leaves on, actually all of the leaves, the rest of the leaves on this one here. So I am going to add all of the base layer for the leaves using the Grassfield. So we have all of the leaf images on this one, but we will need to kind of turn this over for the other leaves later on. So once I've added all of the base layers, I'm then going to move the stencils back into place to do the second layer on these images that we have. So for the second layer I will be using the beautiful Shadow Creek ink. So this is a really deep kind of green colour here. As you can see, I'm just moving the stencil into place where it needs to be on top of the base layer and just adding that through. It doesn't need to be perfect, this layer, it is kind of an easy layering system here. We then have a third layer for this little leaf. And for this portion here, I will be using some of the mountain pine just to add that one in. I'm then going to add in this little singular flower that we have. So for the base layer, we do have the pink pearl. This is all on the second stencil, remember? And then I'm going to move that over and then add in the second layer for this little singular flower. For this layer here, I will be using the Coral Bliss ink just to add the ink through the stencil there. I'm going to shift the stencil over again, and for the third layer I will be using the Heartbeat ink. So I'm just going to add the darker points in with that colour there. I'm then going to clean my stencil off. Once I've done that, I'm just going to turn that over, and that is going to do the other two remaining leaves that we have from the stamp set. So for the base layer, I'm going to do the same as before. I am going to go in with the Grassfield. So I'm just going to place that around the image and then go through with that ink. I can then shift those stencils over and then add in the second layer to each of these leaves here. And for these ones, I will be using the Shadow Creek to add in that darker kind of vein towards the center of the leaf. Again, once I've done this little one with the second layer, this one does have a third layer, so I'm just going to line that one into place. And for this one, as before, I will be using the mountain pine ink just to add that delicate center in there. Once that's done, I'm then going to move on to the third stencil. Now this has the second layer for that leaf cluster, the flower cluster, sorry. So I'm just going to line up the little center points for this one here. And I'm going to go in with the Coral Bliss ink to add in that darker shading to those beautiful flowers that we have in the cluster. I can then move my stencil over slightly. Again, this is the third stencil, and this is going to add in the darker layers to the leaves on the large flower cluster. For this one, I will be using the Shadow Creek ink to add in those darker shaded areas. So once that one has been done, I'm then going to move on to the fourth stencil. So this is the last one in the stencil set. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do the base of this flower that we have. So this is the flower with the attached leaves. And for the base layer, as before, I'm going to go in with the pink pearl ink to add that lighter colour in. I'm then going to shift the stencil over, add that into place on the outline, and for the second layer I am going to be using the Coral Bliss ink for that one. Once that's done, I'm going to move that stencil over a third time, lining up the center point of the flower, and for this one I'm going to be using the Heartbeat ink. So once that has been done, I'm going to add in the third layer to the flower cluster. So this is on the fourth stencil. And I'm going to add that in using the same colour as I used for the third layer of the other flowers. So that is the heartbeat ink there. I'm then going to move my stencil up to add in the base for the leaves that we have on this flower with the leaves. And for the base layer, I will be using that grass field ink again. I'm then going to shift that stencil up a little bit more and add in the second layer using the Shadow Creek ink. So here is all of the layering complete. We really do hope this video helps. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again really, really soon. Bye-bye.